Hello and welcome to Odyssey of Eternity. I'm DM Kenneth, and this is Ravenloft, Darkness of Sossal. We've been on hiatus for a little bit, but we are back. And just so everyone knows, who might be watching at home or later in the future when this goes live on YouTube and Twitch's Vaults, we are going to be streaming every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday for the foreseeable future. Stay tuned next week on Friday for potentially the final video of Icewind Dale as we reach the conclusion there. But where we're at now, we are in Ravenloft, Darkness of Sossal. We are down a few players tonight, which is alright. We have more than enough. If you're watching at home, welcome to the Kenku Club. And here we begin. Last we left off, the party had been making their way after getting an invite to the Winter Court. The group of unseelie fae that have been bopping about Sossal for the past couple hundred years. Ever since the calamity had taken place in this land. The fae, the unseelie fae in particular, have been about. The party has been making their way through the woods, through the snow, pushing through, forging on, and ended up encountering two headless horsemen, two Dullahans. The fight was brief, painful, and brought up quite a lot of conflict between the group. To start this session, those two members have sort of pulled back from the party a little bit to contemplate things and to think. But they're still following around in the background, keeping tabs on you guys. However, the four of you here, Telwyn, Pinaki, Verne, and Vita, you guys are still heading in the direction of the Unseelie Court, home of the Winter Lady. So, as what passes for dawn here crests the horizon, I need a survival check from you, whoever's making it, as you guys continue on in your journey. All right. $24 sounds good to me. So, pushing through past the snow, there is a brief flurry that comes very quickly, very hard. Vision is obscured for the majority of your journey here today. However, when the snow settles and you guys push through, you find yourself what appears to be a frozen apple orchard. You see a small cottage with a barn off to the side in front of you. You see apples hanging in the trees, blue frost hanging off of them, but does not seem to be harmed by the cold. These, not so much. Apples have been a rarity in this area for quite some time. Give me a investigation check. 17, all right. So, looking about, you do see there is some disturbed snow towards the, like from the house to the barn to the apple orchard. All right. So, if you guys would like to give me a survival or nature checks. All right. So, modified 20 and a natural 20. All right. All right. Uh, so, looking about, the apples seem to be some sort of. They seem magical in nature, maybe even druidic, like someone has been tending these for quite some time. Uh, yeah, you do notice that with what do you call with your senses. You look about. Uh, you also notice what's in the area as well. You see what looks to be a pumpkin patch. Also, off to the in a field off in the distance. Equally as odd, frost covering all of them. However, with the frost comes the what do you call it? Almost a bluish tint to the pumpkins. Yes, there is a like a small looking cottage, and then a what appears to be a barn as well. Okay, so you approach the door and go up and clunk, clunk, clunk. No one answers. But as you clunk on the door swings open. Very slowly, just from the force of your knocks. As you see inside of this building a room in complete disarray. It seems like there is like some sort of struggle went on in this room. And you see what appears to be off in the corner, around a corner, what looks to be a couple feet lying prone. You can't see the body that's attached to it because it's around the corner, but it does look like someone is laying down on the inside around the corner on the floor. Okay. You go in, and that frost covers all around this room. And on the person, you notice almost a shell of ice over them as well. But you see, it seems to be a younger woman, it looks like. The ice seems to be not as thick as it appears, and it cracks as you tap on it. You see her chest moving almost imperceptibly as she shallowly breathes in and out, as you notice she's still alive. You do, and you just see very slowly the mouth starts to chew on the berry as the eyes open up. You see not a lot of focus in them. They are off. They are hazy. You just hear a very weak, who is it? Panaki, I am... I... Memory is hard right now. Everything is cold and dark. I think someone attacked me in my home here. No, it was the Scarecrows. The Scarecrows of the pumpkin patch. They did this. They were always alive, but never mean, never malicious. There is a fireplace. It seems to be not used, but in any recent time. But there is one there. Okay. So you start building a fire as the house is slowly starting to warm up here. There are some, but none that you necessarily would think are in this area. So, but she sort of leans up a bit and leans up against the wall. My name is Adeline, and thank you, strangers, for helping. I didn't know I thought I was dead. The Scarecrows came in and, well, they weren't kind. She looks like she could do with some healing. Okay. She she shakes her head. She's like, "No, I didn't create the Scarecrows. The Scarecrows were here before I came here. This orchard and pumpkin patch was here before I got here. I'm just I'm a lowly frost druid. And I figured this place seemed as good a place as any to help tend the grove of trees, the odd pumpkins that grow in the frost. I figured it would be a good place to call home and that might be safe in this land. And the land had protectors, and they seemed to accept me. I lived here for about 10 years in harmony with them. And she shakes her head, and you notice her eyes are still cloudy. Uh, Probably as if she might not have been a seeing person, that she might be blind. She shakes her head, her hair sort of bouncing back and forth as she does. Not that I know of. Well, they've always been kind to me, and even when times have been tough, they've helped me by bringing me food when things have not been kind. I do not know what has gone on to upset them so. Okay. What does that tell you, by the way? Yes. Yes. Lots of fae. Yes. There's some undead pinging, but yeah, not in the immediate area. But the area around the farm itself is particularly lackluster in life. Like, you don't detect anything from this area. So I hate to ask more of you if you guys have already done so much for me, and I want you to try to figure out what's going on here. What's causing these scarecrows to be scary? By the way, they're not made of straw like normal scarecrows are. These ones are made out of different materials. There's one that's made of some sort of fog. There's another that's made out of a smooth, cold stone. There's another one that almost feels to be made of glass. And there's a couple that seem to have some sort of bowstring attached to them, almost as if they're a moving crossbow. I do not wish these things destroyed. Maybe rendered inoperable for a time, to be repaired later. But for the past 10 years, these have been my only friends. If you can get to the bottom of this without hurting any of them, or killing any of them, I'd be very grateful. But I understand if that's not possible. In exchange, I can offer you some of the fruits and vegetables that grow here. They're very hardy and they taste absolutely wonderful, and they hold for a long time in the cold without going bad. They even confer a measure of resistance to the cold weather that's in the area. Which is why I suspect I stayed alive these past, as long as it's been since I've been down, probably 2 weeks in the cold. I can bar the door and try to protect myself. I should be fine. Just when you get back, call out for me and I'll open the door for you. Yes. So you have the barn, the apple orchard, or the pumpkin patch are the 3 areas. She sort of pops out. She's like, I'm not sure where they would be in the area now. You might have to do some searching to find them. Might not be the worst idea for the barn. And like you said, it is close. I had a couple alpaca that lived in the barn. I don't know if they've been able to survive if I've been down for 2 weeks. Hopefully they were able to get into the food stores that were in there. All right. So as you guys walk through, you hear the door close as you hear a heavy bolt and bar fall behind the door. You hear a very weak, good luck, call out to you from behind the heavy wooden door. Okay. And as you're leading Aderai towards the barn, she starts putting up a fuss. She does not want to go anywhere near the barn. Yeah, you see her nose flaring. She's stomping her hoofs, and her ears are pricked up. She seems definitely agitated towards something that's in that barn. Outside the house where you guys currently are, you see there is one snowman sitting just sort of out by the porch. Snow is heavy up on the roofs. You see a bit of snow or smoke coming out of the chimney that was once buried, but now snow had melted enough from the hot air to allow the smoke access. And a small wraparound porch around the cabin. The barn looking to it, you see a large structure, no longer painted anymore. Seemed like the snow and the weather has not been kind to it, but the plain brown wood is in decent repair. The doors are shut, and there is little to no gap in the doorway as well. It seems like it is a very good seal to the door. You then have the pumpkin patch off to the far west of the area, and this is a very large pumpkin patch. Most of the pumpkins you see are 2 to 3 feet across. They're very large pumpkins. And it seems to be a tangle of unruly vines and ice. And then the orchard off to the east and to the north is almost like a quarter of a circle, and it comes out as you see trees going back as far as your eyes can tell. Those odd blue apples hanging from the tree, ice hanging from them. But you guys are near the barn. To catch you up, Laura, as you regain your consciousness with the rest of the group. The group was heading back through their goal. They found looks like an apple orchard. Oh, she's already gone again. Okay, you just changed your picture. Okay. You've seen an apple orchard with a pumpkin patch. The apples and pumpkins are blue in color with frost all over them and seem to be growing quite well in the cold. There was a cabin there that you guys, Panaki, ended up going into and finding a young woman, a young blind woman, actually, knocked unconscious and injured in the house by the Scarecrow companions that she's been known for over a decade while she's been living here. And she had asked you, after you guys had administered some aid to her, to help her and to try figuring out what was going on with her companions, and ask you to not kill them if you could, but if you had to, that is acceptable. So that's where we're at. You didn't miss too much. The party has agreed to go to the barn first, and as they were starting, Vita's horse Adorai did not want anything to do with the barn. Give me a intelligence check. Or history check, actually. Yeah, it's always been there. It's always been there. You're on the fence. You're not sure if it was there or if you just didn't pay attention to it the first time. Oh, sorry about that. No, the drag marks here seem to be like a wagon or a sled. Marks, and they are coming from the pumpkin patch and from the orchard to the barn. So, but not to that snowman. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry that got over. Yeah, it appeared to be that of like a sled. Oh, detect good and evil? Okay. You cast it and nothing pings in the area. It seems like the barn doors might be a little too heavy for your mage hand. All right. So you open up the doorway of the, what do you call it? Oh, the barn. And inside, all you see is an odd, like, bluish purple mist all throughout this barn. You see two alpacas sort of off in the back, looking malnourished, but okay. Also incredibly seemingly terrified of something. Yeah, nothing in the detect evil. What is the description of the spell, though, real quick? Just so I'm not missing anything. Okay, yeah. Nothing pings. And all right. Well, as that happens, you cast Shield of Faith and Guidance on Telwyn. The fog roils in this area and starts to rise up. It seemingly tries to engulf Telwyn here. As this is initiative. Agni, what is your initiative? 12. All right, Verne. All right, Vita. All right, Telwyn. Panaki. All right. Does anyone have alert, by the way? Okay, so Verne, you are the only one that is not surprised as this this fog roils over Telwyn. So you can act normally on this turn. You are up first. It almost takes on the shape of a purple worm. On what? It works. $19 will hit. Whoa, what is that? Just not? Is that non-magical or magical slashing? All right, sounds good. Isn't Hunter's Mark force damage? Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, so you rip through this cloud as you see your rending tears, as you see the cloud, the fog recoil and roil as you slash and hack at it. Uh, it's all right. So is that though the surprise overtakes Telwyn, Vita, and Agni, as neither of you are, none of the three of you have the alert feat to not be surprised. You actually go after it. So the way the surprise condition works in D&D is anyone after the initiative of it can act normally, but anything before it that is surprised cannot, or is surprised and is technically stunned for the round, and can't act. Uh, yeah, because apparently surprise rounds don't actually exist in 5e. It's the surprise condition, and it is very misunderstood. So this is, I believe, how it's actually supposed to be run. But so this thing, it as it starts to overwhelm Telwyn, it turns and roils at Verne, seeing you strike it and actually hurting it quite well. You're gonna see it's gonna shimmer and shake, and it's gonna sort of collapse in on itself as a 40-foot diameter spear of fog envelops everything around you guys. I need everyone to make me a Constitution saving throw. I would assume so. Okay. Okay. And Vita. And Telwyn. All right, you guys all barely make it. The 16 was the DC that you needed to meet. You guys will take half of 22 poison damage, so 11 damage total to all of you. As this fog billows out and through you. Panaki, you see this fog work, and you can act upon your turn. What are you doing? Okay. Into the fog. All right. Let's second level. All right. Let me roll the con save. It gets an 11, so it does fail the save. Nine points of damage. All right. You see the fog starting to burn away in the area where you do that at. Anything else? All right. Next up, back up to the top of the round, Verne. You get to react again. You said 18 points? 19. All right. Sounds good to me. Anything else there, Verne? All right. Telwyn, it is your turn to react. Yeah. Save a 13. Let me see. It gets a 7. Doesn't do anything different, but it does hurt it. A 4 damage. All right. Oh, by the way, sorry about that. For both Verne and Telwyn, I need a con save from you guys as you get, and Panaki as you you started your turn in that fog. Okay. The fog is too large at this point for you guys to run out in one movement as well. It is very rapidly expanding. And then Telwyn, what did you get? Okay. So Panaki, you will end up taking 30 points of poison damage this time. The other two who passed will take 15. Okay. Anything else there, Telwyn, for your turn? It seems like there's a large cloud, yes, in this area. It seems like some sort of fog creature. Moonbeam did, yeah. Oh, when it started its turn, it had, or ended its turn there, it had to make the save. No, because it went before you. No, because it ended its turn was before yours. So when it gets to its turn again. So anything else they're telling from you? Okay, sorry, I missed it. Vita, your turn. As you start your turn, however, I need a con save. A 10. Alright, yeah, you fail that save. You will take 24 points of poison damage. Alright. You hop onto... So to mount a creature, I believe if you're not a cavalier, is half your movement, and then you have whatever movement's left of the horse to get off or to get out. So that's just your movement. So you still have your actions. Yes. You absolutely can do that. Alright. Alright, so Vita, you get out of there. Agni, at the start of your turn, I need a Constitution saving throw as you're in this poison, or this fog. Three, unfortunately. Was that a natural one, by the way? Okay, good. Good, good. You will take 16 points of poison damage from this, as I roll pretty low. So what are you doing here? You guys did get a long rest, yes. Okay. Dex saving throw, let's see. That gets a 9. It'll fail. Alright. Alright, you call out after Vita as she's galloping away to get clear so she doesn't fall. Yes. Alright, anything else? Yes, it's rapidly spreading. It's currently a 60-foot diameter spear radiating from the barn. Yes, so it's a lot larger than it seems with a 40-foot diameter. So, diameter. Yep. Alright, it is its turn. It is going to roil and shift as it yet again looks to Verne, who's been... It is, so it will take the con save for that. It gets a 19 this time, however it'll take half damage. The fog also spreads an additional 10 feet this round. That damage to 7, alright. It's still up, but it's barely holding together. It's going to then make 2 strikes at you, Verne. The first one is going to miss completely and actually going to take out a chunk of the barn. The wall just sort of blows out as it smashes into it. However, on its turnaround, it will hit you. It sort of engulfs you into your lungs. You start choking as you take 22 points of poison damage. Alright. But that is its turn. Panaki, it is your turn. At the start of your turn, I need a con save. Alright. You will take... I actually rolled really low this time. You'll take 13 points of poison damage to start. The same as your save. Okay. So Verne, you get a 1d6 plus mod, right? Okay. So Verne, you are no longer unconscious. Yes. So what are you? Are you trying to get out of there now? All right. Is that a bonus action or action to use spirit? I think that's a bonus, right? Yep. So if you use your full action to dash, you should be able to just get clear of the fog. Yep. So you just get clear of the fog. Verne. Start of your turn. I need a con save as you are still in the poison. Okay. Real quick question for you, Panaki. Is the healing spirit at the start of his turn when he enters it for the first time? What is the wording on that? Okay, so Verne, roll your die 6 for the healing first. Okay. Let's see. There's a chance. Unfortunately, it is not. You will take half because you passed. You said with a 17. Half of 25, so you'll take 12 points of poison damage. As you crunch back down to the dirt. Telwyn, it is your turn. You are still in the fog, so I need a poison or Constitution saving throw as you start. 17, all right. You will take half of 19, so you will take 9 points of poison damage. But you are free to go. Okay. 17 will absolutely hit. .21 is enough. You smash into this fog, and it almost feels physical as you hit it. All of a sudden, there is almost like a whirlpool-esque whirling of energies and wind as the mist detonates and dissipates all throughout the area. The fog that you are all standing in dissipates as well. As you guys can finally breathe. Verne, the healing spirit, on its last turn, picks you up. As you start your turn unconscious in the healing spirit. Okay. Perfect. That creature was a lot meaner than its challenge rating led it on to be. So I apologize for that, guys. No, it would have been. I had plans. I always have a plan B if we're missing characters. So the biggest thing that would have worked on that thing is warding wind or any of the druidic wind spells. You could have with the wording of some of them, like Wall of Wind, you could literally just put it into the size of a quarter, and it couldn't hurt anyone. Because that was a living cloud kill. It was a cool little construct. But congratulations, guys, on that. That was a tough fight, and you guys did quite well for that. You guys. You guys. You guys also don't have a pressing time frame, so if you guys needed to take a short rest, you could as well. You could either hold up here. You see the alpacas are visibly shaken and malnourished, but not hostile or not injured. But there's also the you could go back to the house and with Adeline, and she'd probably let you back in to rest. Alright, so you guys hunker down in this barn. You close up the gates. You see the alpacas. You're able to give them some foods. They did bust into their fodder that was in here, and that's why they have not perished from the hunger. But they do seem to be nearly out of food. But neither of them seem to be near death's door. You tend to them, tend to Aderai, and you guys are able to take your short rest. You guys can roll your hit die if you'd like, gain back any short rest related items. Okay. Sounds good to me. That's awesome. Sounds good to me. So, you guys are able to take your short rest, heal up. Now, what would you like to do from here? Would you like to investigate this barn further? Would you like to do other things? like to investigate other places. Yeah, go for it. Roll the investigation check. $22. All right. So Telwyn is the only person that really finds anything around here. Telwyn, you find what appears to be a couple magical sigils that have been hastily carved into some of the pillars and planks of this barn. But the rest of it seems to be just hay and just general barn materials. You find like a saddle here, just a couple blankets. They seem to be magic. Yeah, 9 will not get you anywhere. What about you? $13? Arcana, yes. So you understand that this is, it's not a beneficial rune that's inscribed, but past that, that's about all you get. That's actually a very fair statement, actually. Okay, there is about 3 runes in here, by the way. So you can do that. You cast Spell Magic on one of the runes, as you see it wink out of existence. The other 2 runes sort of sparkle and hiss as you do this, and seem to almost flare up a little bit. Say that again. Okay. Seems to be an old horse saddle. Looks like it might fit Adderai. However, the leather is sort of chapped from just years of neglect. But it would work for Adderai. Ah. Yeah, upgrade not found right now. But so you have the two sparkling other runes at this point. What are you guys doing? Okay. All right, they definitely are. The very well-mannered alpacas. But this, guys, is where we are going to take our intermission here. So take 10 minutes, stretch your legs, get a drink, get something to eat, and come back in 10 minutes, okay? Transitions to there. We are now no longer All right, welcome back, everyone. We are back from our break. You guys just finished up a short rest. The magical sigils are sparkling and hissing in this barn here as you guys dispelled one of them and left the other two. From here, what would you guys like to do? All right. Is that where everyone wants to go, with the apple orchard? All right. Sounds good to me. All right, so you guys exit the barn, surveying the property once again. You see there is the apple orchard off to the north and the east. The pumpkin patch is off to the west. The cabin in the middle of the property with two snowmen in the front and the chimney fire still puffing smoke out from above it. Yeah. No, this will be an intelligence saving throw, actually. Yeah, you distinctly remember there being 0 snowmen when you first got here. Anyone pondering the snowmen, I need an intelligence saving throw that is not Vita, because Vita's already passed the save. Okay. So Panaki and Telwyn, you are absolutely for certain there were 2 snowmen here the entire time you were here. Uh, you, something's might be affecting your memory with this. Yep. Nope, you're totally fine. That saves her from the save. Yeah. As I believe celestial sort of sounds like the ringing of bells. Okay. As you chuck the dagger at it, I need everyone to roll me an intelligence saving throw. Okay. So what were the saves again? Okay. Okay. All right. So, I think the only one that got higher than a 19 is Verne, correct? So, the blade tumbles into the snowman as the rest of you don't remember what you were doing. You remember that you were here looking for what was going on with the, what do you call it, the constructs in the area, the Scarecrows. That you definitely shouldn't worry about the snowman. But you, Verne, that Hydra's absolutely terrifying. Or not Hydra, snowman. I was looking at a stat block. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It was a Freudian slip. Don't worry about it. How long does your detect good and evil go last, Telman? By the way, is it like a 10-minute thing, an instantaneous thing, or like an hour? Telman. Okay, then. Yeah, that does not work. Yeah, give me an intelligence save here when you do that. Yeah, you have a aberration ping, like dead center of this area. You roll me an intelligence saving throw as you wave to the snowman. You get to have the vague memory of it waving back, but you're pretty sure you might be mistaken. Well, that's a first as a DM. Getting a party to nope out of the situation I had planned for the night. All right. Oh, what's that, Telwyn? So yeah, so a little bit so every time someone's been looking at it, I've been rolling on my end to see if it was actually paying attention. And your detect evil, the first snowman actually wasn't part of this. It was just something I threw in as a joke. After that, the creature that was there that was starting to mess with you guys, if it paid attention, you had to make the save. And it was buried at the time when you got here, so that's why your detect evil didn't go off with it. If that gives a little bit more clarification. Yes. All right. Yes. Yeah, give me a say Arcana check. You would know that some of them probably have the capability of it, but it's not a very common trait in aberrations. Hmm. I just love the role play tonight, guys. Just wanted to let you guys know. Uh, Vita, do you at all let say that idea out loud that maybe something was protecting that woman? The rest of you guys can roll me an insight check, actually, upon hearing that. Yourself as well, Vita. All right. So, anyone higher than a 16? 16 or higher. I think Telwyn, you also said you had a 16? Oh, hi, Oki. You guys get the idea that that's probably not actually far off. She did say that she was a frost druid in the beginning, and the ice protecting her, something snow related protecting her, might not be that far off. Druids are known to have guardians sometimes. They're known to have proclivities in nature. Yeah, the behaviors of the what do you call it? The Scarecrows, the Perprotectors, had changed very dramatically, and all of a sudden they attacked her, and she had no idea what was going on. You guys had found some newly sketched uh, magical runes across in the barn, and what one of her guardians that she told you of was made of fog, and you fought a fog-based creature in the barn as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go for it. All right. All right. So what'd you roll? 20 with guidance. All right. So these. So you were looking to see if any aberration could do this. Yes. Aberrations take all shapes, sizes, and abilities. So, what are you guys doing? It just sort of snuffs and shakes its head. Yes. All right. So, you guys head back to the pumpkin patch. You guys didn't get too terribly far as you guys fled the orchard, but you guys come back and you see the pumpkin patch is still to the west. There are 3 snowmen now sitting in front of the house. Okay. You guys find yourself to the pumpkin patch, and you see these large and ginormous pumpkins, most of them averaging about 2 to 3 feet wide. Looking about, you see all sorts of things. You see pumpkins. You do see what appears to be like a standing minotaur made of crystal, off probably about a couple 100 feet away. It's very large. As you start walking through, Verne, you get the first, what do you call it, inkling here, as you have more than enough time to call out to the party, as you see vines from one of the largest pumpkins you've ever seen. This one probably about 6 feet wide and just as much tall. You see vines creeping around and starting to wrap around towards your guys' feet, as this is initiative. Yeah, he has more than enough time to warn everyone, so no one is surprised for this. Yep. So Agni, what is your initiative? Verne? Vita. 18, Telman. And Panaki. All right. So you see this pumpkin as it's starting to move. You see that face of a jack-o'-lantern tear open through the pumpkin. You see a snarling, toothy maw sort of opening up as you see an inner fire starting to light in the inside of it. The vines coming from the top of it around almost appear as if they're tentacles coming off of this thing. As you see rows of about 6 eyes all along the top of where the eyes would be on a jack-o'-lantern. Almost like a spider, yeah. Verna, you are the first to respond to this. Okay. Ever 16 will hit. Also, everyone gets inspiration because my cat just attacked me. For Telwyn and Vita, who I don't know the rule, anytime my cat tries murdering me while I'm running a table, everyone at the table gets inspiration. It's been a house rule for ever. And I'm sitting there petting my cat, and he just like bit me actually pretty decently. That's not bleeding, but it's not bleeding, but it's smarting. Yeah, I will in a minute here. 27 piercing. All right. Anything else, Verne? All right, Vita, you are next. Not at this point, no. It just wasn't a surprise round. Or not a surprise round, but surprise condition. Okay, that'll hit. All right, perfect. 14 just hits. That is AC. $11 points of damage. All right. Anything else? Oh. All right. As you do hit it, you see bits of pumpkin blasting off into the field around. Arrows sort of sticking into it. It starts rolling forward almost at a breakneck pace. It gets right into the middle of your guys' group. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so Miss Agni. This thing comes through as you see its maw open, large pumpkin teeth seeming more sharp than they have any right to be. You see what appears to be some sort of spectral, like a flaming lash launch out of its mouth and start wrapping around you. I need a strength saving throw. A 10. All right, so 13. Still not enough, unfortunately. You are pulled right up to its maw, and as it does this, it does take a bite attack upon you. Does a 14 hit you? All right, you're able to just sort of put your arms and armor up in the way and pull yourself just far enough as it tries to bite. And a good thing you do miss that. Agni, it is your turn. All Alright, it gets a 6. Also, I just want to point out I love the contrast between your two characters that you play at my tables. One is murder, 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 and this one's friendship bracelets for everyone. So how much damage? 6 radiant. Alright, perfect. Anything else? Okay. Next up, Mr. Telwyn. Both will hit. This does considered, no, it's considered a construct. So 20, and then you said 12. You are cracking the pumpkin skin all over the place. It is crunched in quite intently at this point. Anything else they're telling? All right. Panaki, it is your turn. Turn into a warhorse. All right. Is that your action? Yes. Yes. Okay. Do you have like a bonus action or anything that you can use to do that? Like your movement to charge, yes, but you don't have an actual action to attack because you transformed. Okay, so you move back. Perfect. Anything else? All right, sounds good. Verne, it is back up to your turn. Yeah, it was like a flaming lash that came from the inside, the inner fire of this thing. Yeah, your blade goes right through it, realizing it's not a physical thing. Oh yeah, that'll definitely hit the main host. Nine points. All right. Anything else? All right. Vita, you're up next. Yeah. Go for it. Yeah, unfortunately, that will miss. A 16? That will hit. You said 3 damage? So fun fact, that is exactly what you needed to kill it. On the dot as you crunch in the pumpkin. So yeah, so you stand in this field. Okay. Yeah, you guys do see the, what do you call it, Scarecrow off in the distance. A large crystalline, almost minotaur-looking creature. Standing absolutely still. You do also see you see about probably like 12 stakes that have been pushed into the loamy fields with paper like talismans hanging and fluttering in the wind. You would, yes. Okay. Well, what are you guys doing? Alright, it looks very similar to the magical rune that you've seen inside the barn. Yeah, give me an Arcana or a Religion check. Okay. All right. Both of you get very definite symbology here of Agma, a god of knowledge. However, you know that he usually isn't an angry god, or he's usually one that just seeks knowledge and he's more cold. But the symbology you see in the carving definitely seems like it might not necessarily be a willing, almost like a, so it almost seems like this is more of a warlock bastardized version of a religious rune than it would be of like if a priest cast it. If that makes sense. No. No, this seems like someone's been stealing power from Ogma to use this. No, this seems to be very recent. They don't seem to be weathered very much yet. Uh, and you would get probably there is a connection to these runes around the property and the guardians starting to act funky. In this field, there's 12. Yeah, absolutely. 20, yeah. You get definite enchantment mixed with necromancy runes on these. And the same sort of, you see the definite Ogma symbology that's off putting. Okay. Okay. How stealthy are you guys doing this, by the way? Only your mental stats carry over. Any of your physical stats are taken over by the said creature. Yeah, so you'd use your skill, like if you're proficient with it, you'd still be proficient as the creature, but you'd use their modifiers. Yeah, go for it. Okay. So everyone, roll me a stealth check, excluding you, Verne, who's just sort of standing there keeping an eye as lookout. Okay. Perfect. Next up, Tellin, what'd you get? 18, solid. You guys are doing good for this. And then Panaki, what did you get as in your horse form? 13? Not too bad. So you get... Right... So you guys are actually able to quite successfully gain the first ones. Roll me a dice 6, someone. Let's say Panaki as a horse. 3. All right, you are able to get 3 flags before you guys start to see the Scarecrow shift. You see him start to move as you guys freeze and like lower yourself down into the pumpkin field. He sort of scans around. You see the large crystalline head panning over. At one point, it lifts up its hand as you see the fingers on its hand sort of sharpen as you see a bunch of shards fly out and smash into a pumpkin that's actually quite close to you, Panaki, but it misses. It then proceeds to return to its original position, silent and unmoving once more. You have 3, yes, out of the 12 that are here. Alright, roll me another round of, this time do me sleight of hand checks. Or sleight of hoof for Panaki's. 19, alright. So, Vita, what's yours? Telwyn, what's yours? And Panaki. All right. Someone roll me a d12 this time. Say Telwyn. Seven. All right. Same thing. You guys are able to get 7 flags this time before the Minotaur Crystal Scarecrow starts to notice. It moves around as you see this time. It rushes in and smashes into the debris of the pumpkin that you guys have already fought. It then proceeds to pull itself up out of the gore and stomp back to its spot, unmoving once more. And I'll be right back, guys. I really have to use the restroom. Be right back. I'm just about done here, boo. Yep, love you too. Alright, I'm back. So, no. Oh. Laura says she loves you more, Love her, I love her. She says she loves you too. So yet again, the Minotaur crashes into the pumpkin, gores it, and comes back and just sort of stands motionless again. This time, you guys have 2 more flags left. So which 2 of you are going to attempt to get the flag? Closest wise, it is Vita and Panaki are the 2 closest. All right. So. Okay. So are you going to let Vita get both of them, or are you going to try grabbing one while Vita gets the other? All right. So, Vita, give me your sleight of hand check this time. A 13. All right. So, you go up as you go to snag it. This thing turns. It hears you this time. It lowers its head and starts to charge. You have a reaction. What are you going to do before this thing collides into you? Yep. Because your action was to grab the... You said you were watching and ready to charge, so you do have a reaction as well there. And a held action, because your held action was charging. So Vita. Action Surge is a free action, so I'll give you that. If you have the fighter. Yeah, go for it. I don't see why not. Out of all the times to Action Surge, that is a very solid time when you see your life about to flash before your eyes as a crystalline minotaur is chasing you down. You know, it's a good spell in this situation. It's probably the best thing that you could do. Panaki, what? So you charge to? Are you charging at it? Or are you charging at Vita? Okay. Even or odds, Panaki? Evens. All right. You are a. So you in your charge. You timed it slightly wrong. You block the blow to Vita with your body. So you'll take the hit here. Sorry, Noki. You will take 8 points of piercing damage as this thing rams into your side. And depending on how you guys would like to go about this, it could be initiative or it could be a like sort of a chase sort of thing. How do you guys want to approach this? Do you guys want this to be a fight? Do you want it to be a everyone does something to help contribute to this? Because remember, the woman asked you to not kill these constructs if you could avoid it. So there's also the rest of you as well, and there's that one talisman that's still hanging in the field. Okay. So would you like to go grab that last talisman while the Minotaur is distracted by those other two? Okay, so you can do that. Verne, you sound like you were about to do something. All right, Telwyn. All right, Telwyn, is there anything that you would like to do to help the situation? Okay. No, absolutely. So you're trying to like shield wall it to like almost pinball it away from the party. No, Absolutely great idea. As you did notice, as it was like the 3 times it's charged previously, you notice it did not, or was not able to turn well to track things. It was like straight line until it was done. So great idea there. Uh, all right. So Panaki, you that hurt. It gored you a bit. You sort of flopped down on the ground, got your feet back underneath you. Are you still a warhorse? Okay. I couldn't remember how many HP a horse had. Okay. So we are going to go. We're going to start with you, and then we're going to go round robin around the party here. So Panaki, what would you like to do? Yeah. All right. So Vita, we're going to go next to you. Okay. Healing light on Panaki or yourself. Okay, Panaki. Uh, Panaki, what was your held action there when she jumped on your back? Awesome. Sounds good to me. All right. Perfect. Savita, how much does Panaki heal? 2. All right. Verne, what are you doing? Or are you still standing around like a statue in the middle of the field, keeping lookout? All right. Sounds good to me. Sounds good. You're still keeping an eye out. All right. Telwyn, are you still maintaining your pinball pose? All right. So you seeing Panaki and Vita run past you, you sort of reposition yourself to better be in line with that trajectory. And then Agni, you have the last one in your hand. Yes. You're only missing the one that is in Vita's hand. All right, so you yell that out. The Minotaur statue's turn. You hear a grinding sound as the crystalline thing focuses on Vita on the Panaki horse, as it lowers its horn, stamps its foot, and just toom 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 starts charging at the group. It gets right on the heels of Panaki as you guys are running. And then Telwyn, I need a strength check as you just sort of shoulder check this thing with your shield to try throwing its trajectory off as it's charging. Athletics, yes. 22. All right. So you get low, and as it's running, you smash right into its hip and its lower leg. As you throw it off, it spins, and with a colossal crash, a bunch of frost, snow, and dirt flying, it just smashes a good swath of about 6 feet of pumpkins uh, as it is down. Going back to Panaki, you are 60 feet away from where it was to start the last turn. You have Vita has the slip in her hand, and she is on your back. What are you doing, Panaki? Okay. All right, so you dash past Agni. As Agni holds her hand up, Vita has the slip that you're looking for. Vita, what are you doing for your turn? All right, so you ride out with Panaki. Yeah. Uh, it looks like he could. However, the Minotaur is still down, and it looks like it's in the blur that you see might take at least a turn to get back up. Okay. Verne, you still keeping watch, or are you doing something else? Or are you getting out of the field with that the angry Minotaur is in? Fair enough. So you hop on Adorai, you snap the reins, and you start booking out of there as well. All right. Telwyn, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're taking a turn to buy them more time to burn these. All right. Sounds good. As you do so. Agni, what are you doing? It is not fire damage. It cannot burn. It does not work on it does not work on an object like that. Tinderbox? Alright, roll me a survival check to light the tinder in the tinderbox. Alright, yeah, you're able to the sparks catch the talismans, and whoof, the talismans set ablaze in a bluish green fire. You see the Minotaur go docile in the field as you have fully successfully stopped one of the Scarecrows here by burning the talismans that were corrupting this field. You was not horse last a minute ago. So, what's the goal from here, guys? You guys found out that destroying these symbols is probably the key to what you need to be doing here. You're on the outskirts of the pumpkin patch. You see, in the cottage now, there's about 5 snowmen, 3 of which are now on the roof of the cottage. You see the orchard off in the distance, and the barn that you did not finish getting rid of the magical runes. Okay. So, this... Oh. Okay. Yeah, this is where we were going to end for the night, just because the apple orchard is going to be a whole other area. Yeah. So, this is where we are going to end for the night. I hope very much so that you guys had fun tonight. I know I did. I've never had a party completely nope out of what I was planning on doing, but that happens. And it's just a snowman that gives you a mental condition that somehow multiplies. I'm ending it right about now. So thank you guys so much for watching.